Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when you begin to realize just how much of a difference your presence makes in the lives of those around you. When you step back and take a good, hard look at the impact you've had, you start to understand the weight of your actions, the gravity of your choices, and the ripple effect that extends far beyond what you ever could have imagined. Sometimes we're so caught up in the day-to-day, we don't fully grasp what we mean to the people who depend on us, who rely on us, who love us. But make no mistake, they will feel pain losing you. And not just any pain, this pain will carve deep into their bones, into the very core of their being, because losing you isn't just the loss of a person. It's the loss of something irreplaceable, something that can't be recovered no matter how much time passes. Now, we talk a lot about love in this world. We say it freely, we exchange it casually, and sometimes we even take it for granted. But let me tell you something about love. It's not a feeling, it's not a feeling, it's not a word, it's a commitment. It's a choice. It's an action. And you have to show up for it every single day. Love isn't about the good times, it's about the difficult moments, the ones where the world is crumbling around you and you still choose to stand tall for the people who need you. You see, love is like a force, and when you love someone, you become that force for them. You become their anchor when the storm hits. You're the hand that pulls them out of the darkness. When you leave, when you step away, when you're no longer there, they're left to face the world alone, trying to figure out how to survive without the force that once held them together. And let me tell you, they will feel that loss. They will feel the absence of your presence like a hole in their chest. Because love doesn't leave quietly, it echoes. It reverberates through the quiet moments, through the long, lonely nights, through the spaces where laughter used to be. The pain they feel will linger long after you're gone, and no matter how much time passes, they'll never forget what it was like to have you in their lives. They will remember how you showed up, how you made them feel seen, how you stood by them when they needed you most. But here's the thing about pain, it can either destroy you or transform you. It can break you down to the point where you feel like there's no coming back. Or it can force you to dig deeper, to rise higher, to become stronger than you ever thought possible. When you walk out of someone's life, when you leave a void that can never truly be filled, it's not just about the pain you caused them, it's about what they will become because of that pain. And trust me, the pain they feel losing you is a lesson they will carry with them. It will shape them, mold them, change them in ways they don't fully understand until much later. But that transformation, it's not easy, it's hard, it hurts, but it's necessary. Because life is full of these moments that push us to grow, to evolve, to step into who we're really supposed to be. You know, there are a lot of things that happen in our lives that we can't control. People leave, dreams fade, things don't go the way we plan. But you know what we can control? How we show up, how we love, how we make others feel. That's what we can control. And if you're going to be the kind of person that leaves a lasting impact, a kind of person that people feel the absence of when you're gone, then you have to understand the weight of your presence. You can't take it for granted. You see, the world can sometimes make us feel small, like we don't matter, like we're just one in a sea of faces. But I'll tell you this, you matter. You matter more than you could possibly know. Your words matter. Your actions matter. Your heart, your spirit, your willingness to show up for others, that matters. And if you've ever doubted that, just take a moment and think about the people who have come into your life and changed everything for you. Think about the ones who stood by you, who believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself, who carried you through your toughest moments. Those are the people who matter. And when they're gone, when they're no longer there, you'll feel it. You'll feel it in ways you can't articulate, in ways that words can't capture. The silence will speak louder than anything else. Now, there's another side to this. There's the person who leaves. There's the one who chooses to walk away. The one who pulls back and leaves others in their wake. I need you to understand something. Walking away is never easy. It's not a decision that's made lightly. It's often a result of years of frustration, of hurt, of unmet needs, of sacrifices made and never returned. But even in walking away, there's power. There's power in knowing when to let go, when to step back, when to let someone else figure things out on their own. But that doesn't mean it's without consequences. The ones left behind will feel the absence. And that's part of life. But here's the truth, you can't save everyone. You can't be the answer to every problem. You can't fix every broken heart. Sometimes you have to walk away, even if it hurts you too. Sometimes letting go is the only way forward. But don't ever forget that they will feel that loss. They will feel the weight of your absence, and they'll have to find a way to live without you. It's a hard truth, but it's the truth. And here's something else that's important to understand. Just because someone is gone from your life doesn't mean they've disappeared. The memories, the lessons, the moments you shared, they stay with you. They shape you. They influence how you move forward, how you love, how you navigate the world. Even after they're gone, they still leave an imprint. And you have to decide how you're going to carry that. Are you going to carry it with gratitude, with appreciation for the time you had together? Or are you going to let the pain of their absence consume you, define you, drag you down? We all face moments where we feel like we've been abandoned, where we feel like we've lost something we'll never get back. But I want you to understand something deep in your soul. Losing someone doesn't have to mean losing yourself. You can grieve, you can hurt, you can mourn the loss, and that's all right. But you cannot let it break you. You cannot let it define who you are or how you show up in the world. The pain will come, but it doesn't have to stay. You have the power to heal, to rebuild, to find purpose even in the midst of your heartache. The people who love you will always feel your absence. They'll feel it when you leave, when you move on, when you step away. But they'll also feel the love you gave them long after you're gone. That's the thing about love, it doesn't disappear. It doesn't fade with time. It lingers, it stays in the small moments, in the quiet gestures, in the way you made someone feel when they needed it most. That love lives on, and no matter how much time passes, it never truly leaves. So if you ever find yourself at a crossroads, wondering whether your presence matters, whether your actions count, whether your love is enough, just remember this: they will feel pain losing you. They will feel it deep in their souls in ways they can't even begin to understand right now. And that pain will remind them of how much you meant to them, of how much they needed you. But you have to make sure that when you walk away, you leave them with something they can hold on to. Leave them with the knowledge that you loved them, that you showed up for them, that you were there when they needed you most. Because that's the legacy you want to leave behind. So live with intention. Love with purpose. Show up every day and give your best. Because the people around you, they're depending on you. And when the time comes, when you're no longer there, they'll feel the absence. But they'll also carry the lessons you taught them, the strength you gave them, the love you shared with them. And that's what truly matters. When you're gone, they'll feel pain. But they'll also feel gratitude. They'll feel the weight of your absence, yes, but they'll also feel the warmth of your love, the strength of your presence, the impact you had on their lives. And that will carry them through even in your absence. And that is the power of love. That is the power of presence. That is the power of who you are. Your presence in the lives of others is more significant than you may realize. When you're there for someone, you become an anchor for them. And when you're gone, they will feel the profound loss of that presence deeply, like a hole in their lives. Love is not just a feeling, but a powerful force that shapes and defines relationships. Love is not simply something you say, it's something you show up for every day. True love requires consistent action, especially during difficult times. When you leave someone's life, the pain they feel is a reflection of how deeply your love and support affected them. While the pain of losing someone is real and can be excruciating, it also offers an opportunity for growth and transformation. The pain someone feels from your absence can change them in ways they might not immediately understand, but that transformation is a necessary part of life. Even after you leave, your influence continues to shape the people you've touched. The love, lessons, and strength you shared with them remain long after you've gone. Your legacy is not just in what you did, but in how you made others feel and the impact you had on their lives. We often go through life unaware of the depth of our influence. We move from moment to moment to moment, focusing on our own needs, our own struggles, and our own lives, but we rarely stop to consider how we affect the people around us. It's only in moments of reflection, or sometimes in the aftermath of a loss, that we realize just how much our presence means to others. Your presence is more powerful than you think. It's not just about being in the same space as someone, it's about how you make them feel when you're there, how you show up in their lives, and how they depend on you whether they recognize it or not. When you walk into a room, the energy shifts. People notice your presence, your energy, your essence. These things leave an imprint on everyone around you, whether you realize it or not. You may walk into a space thinking you're just going through the motions, doing your part, but the truth is, people are feeling the weight of your being. They are feeling your kindness, your strength, your vulnerability, and sometimes they're even feeling your silence. Your very existence has the power to shape the environment. And it's more than just your actions, it's the energy you carry with you. Think about the people in your life who've had an undeniable impact on you. It's not always the grand gestures that stand out. It's the way they made you feel seen, heard, and valued. It's how they showed up for you day after day in both big and small ways. It's the quiet moments when they were simply there with you, when they didn't have to say anything, but their presence alone was enough. These are the people who change the course of our lives, who make us feel as though we matter, who offer us stability when everything around us feels uncertain. They don't just pass through our lives, they become a part of us. And when they leave, we feel the absence in ways we can't fully express. The hole they leave behind is not just the loss of a person, it's the absence of something irreplaceable, something that was woven into the fabric of our daily existence. The truth is, we often take our impact for granted. We think of ourselves as just one person living a small life in a vast world, and we forget how much our presence actually affects those around us. We think we're just one piece of the puzzle, and that puzzle would remain largely unchanged if we weren't around. But that couldn't be further from the truth. We matter. The way we show up for others matters. The love we give, the kindness we extend, and the moments we share with people, those things matter more than we often realize. And when we're no longer there, when we leave a space or step out of someone's life, it's not just the absence of our physical presence that they feel, it's the loss of the connection, the bond, the security, and the support that we provided, often without even realizing it. People are creatures of connection. We need one another in ways that go beyond the tangible. Yes, we need shelter, food, and safety, but we also need emotional support, companionship, and affirmation. We need the feeling of belonging. We need to know that we are seen, that we are valued, and that we have a place in the world. When someone we care about walks into the room, we can feel it in the air. We can feel the shift. Their presence makes us feel less alone, more understood. It's a force that can't always be put into words, but it is felt deeply. When we lose that presence, the absence is keenly felt. But here's the thing, your presence is not just a passive force. It's active, it's intentional. It's something you choose to bring into the world every single day. It's easy to think that our lives are isolated or that we are insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Every moment you spend with someone is an opportunity to make a difference in their lives. It could be something as simple as a smile, a word of encouragement, or a listening ear. Sometimes the smallest moments have the biggest impact. Think about the people who've touched your life in ways you didn't even expect. It wasn't necessarily because they did something huge for you, it was because they were there. Their presence gave you comfort, strength, and reassurance. They made you feel like you weren't alone in the world. The challenge we often face, however, is that we don't always see the impact we have. We don't always realize the power of our presence in the moment. We may leave an interaction, go about our day and think nothing of it, but the person we spoke to might be carrying that moment with them long after we've moved on. That word of encouragement you offered in passing might have been the one thing that kept them going. That moment of listening might have been the only time that day they felt heard. We are constantly leaving little pieces of ourselves in the world, sometimes without even knowing it. Our words, our actions, our energy, they all add up and they contribute to the lives of others in ways that we may never fully comprehend. You might not see it, but there are people who depend on you. There are people whose lives have been better simply because you were in them. There are people who will feel the sting of your absence deeply if you were to walk away, not because of anything extraordinary you did, but simply because you showed up. You were a steady presence in their lives, and that alone made all the difference. There are people whose lives are better because they knew they could count on you, that you would be there when they needed you, that you would be a source of strength when they were weak, a light when they were lost, and a friend when they felt alone. That's the power of your presence. It's not about doing grand, heroic things. It's about showing up in the small, everyday moments. It's about being consistent, being reliable, being present. And when you walk away, when you're no longer there, people will miss you in ways they never expected. The emptiness they feel will not only be the absence of your body, but the absence of what you gave them, the comfort of your presence, the stability of your support, and the warmth of your love. You see, when we leave, the people we leave behind don't just lose a person, they lose a piece of their world. The fabric of their daily lives changes. The rhythm of their routine is disrupted. The silence left in the wake of your absence will feel like a weight they didn't know they were carrying until you were gone. And that's when the magnitude of your presence hits them. It's in the moments of quiet, in the gaps that appear, in the places where you used to be. That's when they realize that you weren't just there physically, you were there emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You made them feel something, you made them feel like they mattered, you made them feel like they were part of something bigger than themselves. In the end, your presence doesn't just affect the people who are close to you, it affects the world. When you show up with authenticity, with love, with kindness, you create ripples that spread out into the world. You influence the people you come into contact with, and in turn, they go out and influence others. It's a chain reaction. The way you carry yourself, the way you treat others, the way you make them feel, it spreads. And long after you're gone, your presence lives on in the way others remember you, in the way they carry your lessons, in the way they share the love you gave them. You may not always see it, but you have more power than you realize. Your presence matters. And when you're gone, people will feel it. They will feel the absence of you in ways they can't quite put into words, in ways they won't fully understand until much later. But what you leave behind, the love, the memories, the lessons, you will leave an imprint on their hearts. And that imprint is what will carry them through the moments when they feel lost, when they feel alone, when they need strength, when they need love, and when they need a reminder of what it feels like to matter. And that's the power of your presence. It's not just the moments you're here, but the lasting impact you leave behind. Love in its purest form is not a mere emotion or a fleeting feeling that comes and goes with the tides of circumstance. It is, in its truest essence, a commitment and an action. Too often in this world, we think of love as something that is passive, something we feel in the good moments, something that comes naturally when things are going well. But real love, the kind that lasts, the kind that makes a difference, is a choice that we make every single day. It is something we choose to give, to nurture, and to act on, even when it is hard, even when it demands more of us than we feel we have to give. When we commit to love, we are making a promise not to the other person, but to ourselves. We are promising that no matter what happens, no matter the challenges, no matter the difficulties, we will show up. We will show up with our whole heart. We will show up even when we are tired, even when it feels easier to walk away, even when the other person can't or won't give us what we want in return. We show up because love is not about convenience or comfort. It is about consistency, about being there when it matters most. Love, when it is real, is an active force. It's not enough to simply say the words, "I love you," or to feel love in our hearts. True love requires us to put that love into action. It requires us to demonstrate it through our choices, through our behavior, and through our actions. It's easy to love someone when things are smooth, when there is no friction, when everything is going well. But the test of love comes in the difficult moments, the moments when your partner is at their lowest, when the people you care about are struggling, when life is hard and the road is long. It is in these moments that love is truly tested. Will you stay even when things aren't easy? Will you keep showing up even when it requires sacrifice? Will you continue to love when the feelings of affection aren't as strong as they once were? There's an old saying that goes, love is a verb. This is more than just a catchy phrase. It's the core of what love is. It's easy to talk about love, to express it in words, but it's what we do that really matters. Love is in the actions we take, in the way we show care, in the way we make choices that benefit others, sometimes at the expense of our own comfort. It's about choosing to support someone through their struggles, even when it feels like we don't have the energy to give. It's about being patient when the person we love is going through a hard time, even when it's difficult to understand what they're going through. It's about showing up when we want to pull away, when everything inside us says to walk out, but we choose to stay and fight for the relationship, for the connection. True love is not conditional. It doesn't fluctuate with the moods of the moment or the ups and downs of life. Love that is conditional is not love at all, it's a transaction. It's a bargain. True love, however, is a commitment to be there for someone, no matter what. It's choosing to love someone even when they are not at their best, even when they are messy, imperfect, and broken. It's showing up with empathy and understanding, even when you don't have all the answers, even when you don't know what the other person needs, but you're willing to figure it out together. Love as commitment means loving them in their entirety when they are easy to love and when they are difficult to love. It means holding on when the temptation to let go feels strongest. And let's be real, love isn't always easy. It's not always glamorous or filled with grand gestures. It's not always the stuff of fairy tales where every moment is perfect and every problem is neatly solved with a happily ever after. Love is messy. It's unpredictable. It's complicated. It's hard work. It demands that you dig deeper into yourself, that you confront your own insecurities, your fears, your shortcomings, and your weaknesses. Love requires you to give something of yourself that you may not always feel ready to give. It's like a muscle that needs to be exercised. Sometimes it's easy to lift, sometimes it's heavy, but if you stop working it, it will grow weak. Love requires you to stretch yourself, to become better than you were before, to rise above your own limitations for the sake of another person. One of the most profound aspects of love as commitment is that it calls us to selflessness. We live in a world that often values individualism and self-interest, where the idea of putting someone else's needs before your own is seen as a sacrifice. But love teaches us that true fulfillment comes not from living only for ourselves, but from living for others, from finding purpose in being there for someone else, from pouring into others in a way that enriches their lives. It means sometimes putting the needs of those we love ahead of our own, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it means making a sacrifice. It means choosing them when we could choose ourselves. And in doing so, we are rewarded with something deeper than anything that selfishness could provide. But this isn't to say that selflessness in love means losing yourself. It doesn't mean that you should neglect your own needs, that you should allow yourself to be used or taken for granted. Healthy love is rooted in respect for both parties and the understanding that both people need care, attention, and space to grow as individuals. Love requires balance. It requires mutual respect. It requires that both people give and take in a way that benefits the relationship. But love is also about making the choice to be there for someone, even when it's inconvenient, even when it means you have to stretch yourself in ways that aren't always easy or comfortable. Commitment in love also means accountability. Love is not about letting things slide or sweeping issues under the rug. It's about addressing the hard stuff, confronting challenges together, and being willing to be vulnerable and honest. It means having the courage to speak up when something is wrong, to have difficult conversations, and to make changes when necessary. Love as commitment involves being accountable not only to the other person, but to the relationship itself. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, your words, and your impact on the other person. It's about making the effort to grow together, to learn together, and to evolve together as a couple, as friends, or as family. One of the most profound aspects of love as action is the ability to forgive. Forgiveness is not something that comes naturally to all of us. It requires humility, patience, and a willingness to let go of the past in order to move forward. But in love, forgiveness is essential. We all make mistakes, we all fall short of our expectations, and we all have our flaws. But love gives us the space to grow, to learn, and to change. It allows us to be human. And it asks for forgiveness when we hurt others. Forgiveness is a commitment, just like love. It is choosing to heal the wounds and rebuild the trust, even when it feels like the easiest thing would be to walk away. But love doesn't let go that easily. Love chooses to heal, to rebuild, and to move forward, even when the path is difficult. Love as a commitment also means protecting and nurturing the relationship. It's easy to let relationships slide into complacency, to take them for granted, to forget that love requires attention and care. But commitment in love means that you invest in the relationship, that you make time for the person you love, that you do the little things that show you care. It means expressing your appreciation, giving your full attention, and making the effort to nurture the connection. A relationship, like a garden, requires tending. If you neglect it, it withers. If you water it, if you nurture it, if you put in the effort, it grows stronger and more beautiful with time. Real love is not transactional. It is not about keeping score or expecting something in return. True love is about giving freely without expecting anything in return, because love is its own reward. The act of loving, the act of showing up, the act of caring, these are rewards in themselves. And sometimes the reward isn't immediate. It doesn't always come in the form of reciprocation or acknowledgement. But love that is committed, love that is real, doesn't need instant validation. It trusts that the connection will bear fruit, that the commitment will be returned in its own time, in its own way. Love that is truly a commitment knows that sometimes it is the quiet, consistent actions that matter most. Pain is a powerful, universal experience. It's a force that we all encounter, whether we're prepared for it or not. It comes in many forms: physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care who you are, where you come from, or what your story is. Pain will find you. But as inevitable as it is, pain also carries with it a unique transformative power. We don't often talk about the transformative side of pain because in the moment it feels overwhelming. It feels like something that will break us, something that will define us in ways we can't escape. But if you allow yourself to look beyond the immediate weight of it, you'll begin to see that pain has the capacity to shape you into something stronger, something wiser, something more capable of understanding the world around you and your place in it. When pain enters your life, it forces you to confront things you would rather avoid. It challenges your assumptions about yourself, about others, and about the world. Pain makes you ask difficult questions like, how much can I endure? What am I truly made of? Can I survive this? In those moments, pain demands that you look inward, that you evaluate your beliefs, your values, your resilience. You can't run from it. You can't ignore it. You must face it head on. And when you do, you start to realize that the depth of your pain reveals the depth of your strength. Every challenge, every heartache, every loss you experience forces you to dig deeper into your reserves of strength, your capacity for patience, your ability to hold on. It's as if pain pushes you to discover new aspects of yourself, parts of you that you didn't know existed, parts that only show up when life becomes unbearably heavy. But it's not just strength that pain brings to the surface, it also brings clarity. When you're going through pain, everything else seems to fade into the background. The things that once seemed so important, the small irritations, the superficial concerns, the things you used to fret over, they suddenly don't matter. In the face of pain, the trivial becomes irrelevant. And in that quiet space, you're forced to focus on what really matters, the things that sustain you, the people who are there for you, the love that grounds you, the values that guide you. Pain strips away the distractions and leaves you with an unfiltered version of reality. It forces you to evaluate what's important and to start prioritizing what truly brings meaning to your life. In that sense, pain becomes a teacher, reminding you to focus on the things that are truly worth your time, your energy, your heart. Through pain, you also learn empathy. It's often said that you can't truly understand someone else's suffering until you've experienced it yourself. Pain has a way of softening your heart and expanding your capacity for compassion. When you've been through the fire, you begin to see others in a different light. You stop judging them so harshly because you recognize that they too are carrying burdens that you can't see. The pain you've endured opens your eyes to the struggles of others. It connects you to them in a way that nothing else can. You begin to understand that we are all in this together, that no one escapes life's hardships, and that there is no shame in vulnerability or in seeking help. Pain humbles you, reminding you that no one is invincible, that we all need each other, that we all have moments when we feel broken, lost, or alone. Another profound aspect of pain is its ability to transform how you see the world. It shifts your perspective. In the midst of pain, you may feel like the world is collapsing around you, like everything you've known and trusted is slipping away. But after a period of time, after you've had the chance to process and heal, you begin to see that pain has a way of sharpening your vision. It forces you to become more present, more attuned to the beauty and fragility of life. You start to appreciate the small things, the quiet moments, the fleeting interactions, the simple joys that you may have overlooked before. Pain in its aftermath has a way of awakening gratitude. It opens your eyes to the richness of life, the depth of connection, and the preciousness of every breath. But perhaps one of the most transformative aspects of pain is its ability to break you down in order to build you up. It's a paradox that can be difficult to understand, but its true pain has the potential to reshape you, to help you become the person you were always meant to be. When you're in the midst of suffering, it may feel like you're being torn apart, like you'll never be whole again. But what you don't always realize is that in that destruction, something new is being born. You are being remade, your heart is being reshaped, your understanding of yourself is expanding. And if you're willing to embrace that transformation, you'll find that you emerge from pain not weaker, but stronger. Not more broken, but more whole. Not more limited, but more expansive. It's as if the pain serves as a furnace that refines you, that purifies your character, your resilience, your will to live. We often talk about the importance of healing, and healing is undoubtedly a crucial part of the process, but healing doesn't always happen in the way we expect. It's not always linear, and it doesn't always look the way we want it to. Healing doesn't always mean going back to the way things were before the pain. It means learning to live with the scars, learning to move forward in a new way, in a way that acknowledges the pain but doesn't let it define you. Pain may leave its mark on you, but it doesn't have to be a permanent scar that holds you back. The healing process is about reclaiming yourself, about finding your strength again, and about learning to live in a new way, one that is shaped by what you've been through, but not controlled by it. The transformative power of pain also lies in its ability to teach you resilience. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about facing it head on and learning how to endure. It's about refusing to let pain dictate the course of your life, refusing to let it steal your power or your hope. Resilience is about developing the inner strength to continue moving forward, even when you feel like giving up. And through that resilience, you learn something crucial about yourself. You learn that you are capable of handling far more than you ever thought possible. Pain shows you just how strong you are, even when you don't feel strong at all. It reveals the depth of your perseverance, your capacity to keep going, even when the path is difficult, even when the pain feels like it will never end. And when you emerge from that experience, you realize that you are not the same person you were before. You are stronger, more confident, more capable of facing whatever life throws at you. There's also a profound beauty in the way pain connects us to others. When we suffer, we become more aware of the pain of others. We become more open to the struggles of the people around us. This shared vulnerability creates bonds. It makes us realize that we're not alone in our suffering, that others are going through similar struggles. Pain creates a sense of solidarity, a recognition that we are all part of a human experience, that we are all doing our best to navigate the complexities of life. And in that recognition, we find connection, we find healing, not just in our own journey, but in the shared journey of others. Pain also forces us to confront the impermanence of life. It reminds us that nothing lasts forever, whether it's the good times or the bad times. The sharp edges of pain eventually dull, the heaviness begins to lift, and life moves on. But in that passage of time, we learn to appreciate the moments of peace, the moments of joy, the moments of love. Pain teaches us to be present in the now, to savor the fleeting moments that pass all too quickly. It forces us to acknowledge that life is fragile, and in doing so, it inspires us to live more fully, more intentionally. Finally, pain teaches us about the power of letting go. When we are in pain, there is often a tendency to cling to hold on to what we've lost, to resist the changes that are taking place, to wish things were different. But in order to truly heal, we must learn to let go. We must release the past, release the pain, and trust that we are being guided towards something new. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or abandoning what we've experienced. It means acknowledging the pain, learning from it, and then choosing to move forward. Pain in this way becomes the catalyst for change, for growth, for evolution. It teaches us that we can't move forward until we let go of what is no longer serving us, what is holding us back. pain in all its forms is an undeniable part of the human experience. It comes for all of us, and it can feel like a weight that will crush us. But if we allow it, pain can also transform us. It can help us grow, heal, and evolve in ways we never imagined. It can help us see the world with new eyes, appreciate the beauty of life, and connect more deeply with the people around us. And in the end, pain will not only teach us how to survive, it will teach us how to thrive. There are moments in life when we stop and reflect on the things that matter most: the relationships, the choices, the moments that shape our character, and the impact we leave behind. At the core of that reflection is a powerful question: what kind of legacy will we leave? Legacy is not just about material wealth or recognition. It's not only about what we accumulate in terms of accolades, awards, or titles. True legacy is measured by the way we've touched the lives of others, the values we've imparted, and the ways in which we've made the world better, even in the smallest of ways. It is the ripple effect of our actions, words, and decisions that extends far beyond our own lifetime, touching lives we may never know in ways we may never see. When we talk about legacy, we often think of it in terms of the great accomplishments of famous individuals, leaders, visionaries, or innovators who have shaped history. But legacy doesn't have to be monumental to be meaningful. In fact, the greatest legacies are often not the ones that make headlines or change the course of nations, but those that touch the hearts and lives of individuals, families, and communities. Legacy is about the everyday choices we make, the way we treat others, the kindness we show, and the integrity we live by. It is about the example we set for those who come after us and the way our lives inspire others to become the best versions of themselves. In many ways, legacy begins with intention. It's not something that happens by accident. If we want to leave a lasting impact, we must be intentional in the way we live our lives. The way we treat people, the work we do, the values we uphold, these are the building blocks of our legacy. The truth is, every day we are making choices. And those choices, whether we realize it or not, are contributing to the legacy we are creating. When we are kind, when we act with integrity, when we help others, when we seek to grow and improve ourselves, we are shaping the story that will be told about us long after we are gone. But intention alone is not enough. Legacy is also built through action. It's one thing to have good intentions, to say the right words, but it's another thing entirely to live those words out through our actions. We cannot merely talk about the kind of people we want to be, the kind of world we want to create. We must act on those beliefs, and our actions must be consistent with our values. Legacy is not just about the things we say we value, but about how we live those values out in the world. It's about how we show up day after day in our relationships, in our work, in our communities. Legacy is earned through hard work, through sacrifice, through the willingness to do what's right, even when it's not easy. There's a common saying that people may not remember what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. It's an important truth. The greatest impact we have on others is not necessarily in the grand, flashy moments of success, but in the quiet, everyday moments when we offer support, show empathy, or simply listen. It's in the way we make others feel valued, seen, and heard. People don't forget how you treat them, how you show up for them when they need it most, how you lift them up when they're down. Your legacy is written not just in the big gestures, but in the small acts of kindness and love that form the fabric of your relationships. We all have the power to leave a legacy, to make an impact, no matter our circumstances or position in life. Too often, we think that legacy is reserved for the rich, the famous, the powerful, or the extraordinary. But the truth is that everyone leaves a legacy. Whether we're aware of it or not, we are constantly shaping how we will be remembered. The impact we have on our children, our friends, our colleagues, our neighbors, these are the people who will carry our legacy forward. And often the most lasting legacies are those that are passed down through generations, woven into the fabric of families, communities, and cultures. A powerful legacy is often one that is anchored in the values that define us. What do we stand for? What do we believe in? What do we want to teach others? These values serve as the foundation upon which our actions are built, and they influence everything we do. If we value integrity, for example, we will act with honesty and transparency, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. If we value empathy, we will seek to understand others, to put ourselves in their shoes, and to act in ways that are compassionate and caring. If we value hard work and perseverance, we will push through adversity, never giving up on our goals or the people we serve. It's not enough to just have values, we must live them out in every area of our lives. When we do, we build a legacy that is not just about us, but about the impact we have on the world around us. Legacy is also shaped by the way we approach failure. None of us are perfect, and none of us will live flawless lives. We will all face setbacks, make mistakes, and experience pain. But it is how we respond to those failures that will shape our legacy. Do we give up, or do we rise again? Do we let our failures define us, or do we learn from them and grow stronger? The way we navigate our failures speaks volumes about our character. And those who are watching, whether they're family members, friends, or colleagues, will be inspired by our ability to bounce back, to learn from adversity, and to keep moving forward. When we talk about leaving a lasting impact, we also need to acknowledge the power of generosity. Legacy is built not just through what we accomplish, but through what we give. Generosity takes many forms. It could be giving of your time, your resources, your knowledge, or your love. The impact of generosity is often multiplied because it doesn't just help those you directly interact with, but it spreads outward. When you give, you inspire others to give, creating a ripple effect that extends beyond your immediate circle. It's through generosity that we are able to lift others up, to make the world a better place, and to create a legacy that outlasts our own lifetime. Generosity allows us to plant seeds that will grow long after we're gone, creating opportunities, supporting dreams, and helping others achieve their full potential. But perhaps the most enduring legacy we can leave is one of love. Love transcends time, place, and circumstance. It is a force that has the power to heal, to unite, and to inspire. The way we love our families, our friends, our communities leaves a mark that lasts far longer than anything material we can leave behind. Love is not just a feeling, it is an action. It is the way we show up for others, the way we support them, the way we invest in their lives. When we love deeply and selflessly, we create bonds that last, that persist long after we're gone. Love is the legacy that never fades. It is a flame that continues to burn, lighting the way for others, warming their hearts, and guiding them through their own challenges. And in the end, the love we give is the greatest legacy we can leave behind. Legacy is not just about what we leave behind, but about how we live while we're here. It's about the choices we make every single day and the people we choose to be. The world is full of distractions, full of noise, full of things that pull us away from what truly matters. But if we want to leave a lasting impact, we must be intentional. We must focus on what really counts. We must love deeply, act with integrity, give generously, and strive to be the best versions of ourselves. We must be the kind of people who inspire others to be better, to do better, and to live lives of meaning and purpose. In the end, our legacy is not something we can control entirely. We can't dictate how people will remember us or what impact we'll have on the world. But we do have control over how we live our lives and the choices we make along the way. If we live with purpose, if we live with love, if we live with integrity, our legacy will take care of itself. It will be reflected in the way others speak of us, the way our actions have rippled through their lives, and the way our values have influenced the next generation. Legacy isn't about seeking fame or recognition. It's about living a life that matters, a life that leaves the world better than we found it. And in doing so, we create an impact that will last far beyond our time.